The Pink Book is back for the West Ham Transfer Rumour Show. Now, there's a reason for doing this video. It's number 1 of 3 this week. They all go in tangent. There's a little bit of a theme, but I'll get onto that at the end of the video because it's a bit boring and there's lots of juicy bits here. Well, there's not really. There's 1 or 2, and there's also 1 or 2 rubbish rumours, but there's also a nice reason as to why you can't believe all the rumours, as if we didn't know that already. But kicking it off is Chelsea's Tammy Abraham. He's been linked to us in a Telegraph today that, in a bit of a shake-up at Stamford Bridge, he, along with a few others, could be on his way out of Chelsea and that West Ham could potentially want him. That David Moyes wants to add to his young and hungry squad, and Tammy Abraham fits that billing. No problems there. He's got a fantastic goal scoring record actually. It's about 1 and 2. It's about 120 something goals in 250 something games. That does include his stint in the Championship though, which boosts those stats, but still a very good goal scoring record. Somewhat underrated if you like. I think he's an underappreciated striker. Perhaps not underrated, but underappreciated. However, I have a few concerns as to whether he would fit the way that we play football under Moyes more recently and compared to the start of the season. I think he's a bit more Sebastian Elliott than Mikel Antonio, for example. However, he's a bit more Mikel Antonio than what Sebastian Elliott was, if that makes any sense. I think he's a good striker. I just don't know if he's, for the price that they'd be looking for, I'd imagine they'd be looking over 30 million for Tammy Abraham. I'm not sure that would represent value for West Ham, but a good striker there, and if he did become available, I'd expect us to have an interest in him, for the reasons I already mentioned. Telegraph, that he is young and that he is homegrown. You can see Moyes liking someone like Tammy, good striker, but I don't think there's too much in that one. However, unlike the next one, which is Adam Armstrong of Blackburn, that rumour's back again. It's not going away anytime soon. Why would it? If a player scores goals in the Championship, the top 3-4 goal scorers in the Championship are always going to get linked to moves to the Premier League club, understandably. And Premier League clubs are going to be looking at them. Why would they not? That's probably the league they keep an eye on the most. So it makes sense. But the bit in the story is that A, Tony Cotty's getting involved a little bit because he sort of suggested that he'd be surprised if Moyes didn't make a move, and also B, that the price tag is 25 million. Now the reason behind that big fee, it's not really big, is it, for one of the top goal scorers in the Championship? That's what we pay these days. But Newcastle United have got a clause in that they get 40% of any sell on that Blackburn do. So whatever the fee Blackburn receive for him this summer, it looks inevitable that he'll leave Blackburn. They're not in great form at the minute, but he's still scoring goals. 40% would go to Newcastle, so they need to get that fee lofty as possible, but they're under no pressure to sell. Ramsdale, I don't like him. I don't like him. I think he's a poor goalkeeper. I think he's possibly the worst goalkeeper in the league. I think he's an average Premier League goalkeeper at best on his day. He is young, and he will get better, and he will probably become a good, solid Premier League goalkeeper, but that's not what we need. Should we be looking for a goalie in summer? We need someone that can come in and replace Fabianski, push Fabianski to the bench, and let him be the backup goalkeeper for the next couple of seasons before he retires, hang his gloves up. I'm not sure Ramsdale isn't a goalie. If Ramsdale was at West Ham next season, I'd expect Fabianski to still be our number 1. Now, that could go hand in hand with what I've just said, and say that in 2 years' time, maybe he would be a really good Premier League goalkeeper. But you're sort of gambling on potential, but paying the price for an established number 1. So it's not really good value. I'm not being impressed by him. I wasn't that impressed by him at Bournemouth. I thought he was alright. And I've been even less impressed with him at Sheffield United, worst goalkeeper in the league. I don't think there's anything in this, but we are being linked to plenty of goalkeepers in the last few weeks. We'll get on to 2 more in a bit. Now, before we go any further, can I just point you in our direction, our Patreon service, that fancy graphics on the screen that Charlie done there. You want to unlock more Hammers Chat content, do check out the link in the description. Unlocking player rating series, weekly Patreon podcast, Opposition View. That's when I have a look. I'll be doing the Leeds one at the end of this week, where I'll take a look at what I think Leeds will do, the formation, the players that will play. I don't normally do too bad. 9 out of 11 is usually my average. Sometimes I get 11. If I do say so myself, sometimes I do alright. But anyway, if you want to support the channel, you can do from £3.60 per month, including VAT. Links in the description. And thank you to everybody that's got involved so far. I massively appreciate it. Now, moving on, the rumour that shows why you shouldn't believe rumours is Sima of Slavia Prague. I watched both Leicester games when they played them in the Europa League, because I refused to watch the YouTube videos and stuff, and also been linked to them a lot. And it was a decent fixture to watch. I like watching the English teams in European tournaments. and he was excellent, really. There was a couple of other pack players as well I thought looked really, really good, but I thought he was really good. Not so much the first leg, he showed glimpses. The second leg I thought he was a lot better. You can see why we'd be interested in him going off the back of that 2 90-minute spells I watched him in. It's not enough, you need a bigger pool, but this is a bigger stage. I'd rather watch him in the Europa League than the Czech Republican League to get a fairer view. However, the rumour was that Prague had set their demand at 35 million for him. But interestingly, on Twitter, the tweet that said that was the asking price, the president of Slavia Prague replied and said that it's not true, the report is false. So that's that rumour done and dealt with, isn't it? Not true, from the horse's mouth himself. Yes, okay, you could say that he's playing the game, but bear in mind how open and honest he was with Souček and Soufal, because when you remember when it come to Soufal coming over, he put up on Twitter that the deal's done. It was him that leaked it, if you like. So I see no reason to not believe him anymore. And the other 2 goalkeepers, Nick Pope, were being linked with somewhat sporadically again, and also Dean Henderson, because Man U got a bit of an issue on their hands, haven't they? We knew this was going to be a problem. He's always playing Dean Henderson in the European football, keeping De Gea in for the Premier League games. But eventually Henderson's going to need to be number 1, whether that's at Old Trafford or Healy. He'd be my number 1 choice goalkeeper. If we needed a new goalkeeper in the summer, it would cost a lot, 40 million or something. It's a lot of money, but I do think you solve your goalkeeper for a decade possibly. It's one of them that's expensive, but in the long term, actually, when you look back at it, it's a bit of a... Like Emi Martinez went to Aston Villa the summer past for 20 million. It's quite a big fee, but it looks like a bargain already. They've sorted the goalkeeper position for years to come, and if he does leave, he'll be going for a lot of money, and that you'd expect the same of Dean Henderson. Sam Johnson's still Henderson, my number 1 pick. Sam Johnson's my number 1 pick in terms of value. Dean Henderson's my number 1 pick in terms of if money was no object, if you like. But with it being an object, Sam Johnson at West Brom, just not Ramsdale. I really do not want to see Ramsdale at West Ham. But it's just a bit strange that we're being linked to all these goalkeepers all of a sudden. I think it's not necessarily a sort of a domino effect of Fabianski being injured for a game, because these rumours were coming out before that. I think Ramsdale one might have been. But the reports today suggest that Ramsdale would like to stay with Sheffield United even if they get relegated. So for that, stay at Bramall Lane, please. We do not. Well, I don't want you here. What have we got next? Oh yes, the Peterborough chairman said something a bit interesting. Apparently David Sullivan was on the blower to Barry Fry and told him that West Ham made a mistake not signing Ivan Toney when he was at Peterborough, because David Moyes liked him, and obviously he's gone to Brentford, smashed it there, and he's now worth over £30 million. So apparently Sullivan has confirmed that David Moyes likes Ivan Toney, and that he wanted him at West Ham and we didn't make a move for him. So that's interesting, I think. And the £20 million price tag for Jesse Lingard is what it is, isn't it? We've sort of got to pay whatever it takes, because if he continues these performances, we need him at West Ham next season. As simple as that. We don't really have an option. But I've seen Leicester City were being linked to Jesse Lingard. Doesn't bother me at all. He won't go anywhere. I think he will be a West Ham player next season, all going well with his performances and so on and so forth. But why would he risk going anywhere else? Even if Leicester do have European football and we didn't, why would he risk going to Leicester when he knows he can be a key player at West Ham next season and be part of something that just missed out on European football and could next season? I don't see it. I think he'll want to come here. The more he plays, actually, I was a bit concerned when we signed him that we didn't have that option to buy. Now apparently we tried to get a £15 million one in there. Man U refused it and they're looking for 20. I think they'll probably be trying to get a bit more than 20. 5 million doesn't seem much more. They'd have just taken a 15 option to buy perhaps. But my worry was the more he plays, the more important he becomes to West Ham, the more clubs get interested and the higher the price goes. Well actually, while that may be true also, the more he plays, the better he plays, the happier he is at West Ham. And even if Everton or Leicester did come sniffing, you'd like to think and expect Jesse Lingard to almost say to Manchester United, I'm not going anywhere except West Ham. You need to sort something with West Ham. You want me gone, you want money from me, you're going to have to sort something with West Ham, because I'm not going anywhere else. So even if a club come in with over £20 million and West Ham were sticking at 20, Man United can accept theirs and reject ours, but if Jesse Lingard says, no, I don't want to go there, I'll just stay here then. You know, you won't get any money for me. I would rather go to West Ham. So I do think it actually puts, there's sort of pros and cons to it, isn't it, really? But I do think if Jesse's happy, which he looks to be, then it puts us in a good negotiation position going forward. Anyway, the reason for this video, like I said, is part 1 of 3. Tomorrow night, I've got a tier list video going up, which is, remember when we did I did a video about David Moyes' sort of scouting room at Everton, if you like, and there were 4 whiteboards, and whiteboard number 4 intrigued me a bit, which was the squad today that he had at Everton, and he had all the players categorised. He had them broken down into who's a key player, who's going to be here next season, who he wants to sort of fade out in 2 or 3 years' time, and who he needs gone, like that, basically. He broke them down into categories. So I'm going to do a tier list thing, taking a look at David Moyes' squad now, and what he would... We have to assume he's got that whiteboard in the porter cabin at our screen. He's got a similar whiteboard. He knows who he wants to keep, he knows who he wants to fade out, and he knows who he wants gone. So we're going to do a little something. My one, then on Thursday night at 6 o'clock on this channel, Thursday 6 o'clock on this channel, hey look, I've got this fancy thing, there we go, have a look at that, make sure you subscribe if you haven't. Thanks Charlie for that little animation. Thursday 6 o'clock, you come back here, we'll be live, and we're going to build one. You guys watching live on Thursday night will pick which players goes into which categories. Some are straightforward, Declan Rice, Thomas Tuchel, yeah, but then there's other ones as well. Masuaku, Creswell, Ogbonna, Bowen, because of their age and ability, some age. It'll be interesting to see what you think. So it's a very, very interactive show on Thursday night. So we need as many of you as possible to come along on Thursday at 6 o'clock, get involved, and build a little Hammers Chat community tier list for David Moyes' squad. Hopefully that makes sense. If it doesn't, don't worry about it. We'll talk you through it on Thursday. And now I'm off to do that tier list video, but I'm also off to start the European qualification video. I mentioned it in yesterday's video. I'll happily do one. Spoke to Charlie, so we're going to do one. Anyway, that's the end of the West Ham transfer rumours for this week. I'll catch you in a bit. Drop a like on the video if you enjoyed it. Subscribe if you're new around here, and I'll see you soon.